Hi, I'm George Nordhaus, and welcome to Monday Morning. How about this for a title? Get more customers by stopping selling insurance. Wow, what's this guy talking about? Well, it's Al Diamond. He's talking in an agency consulting group, who's probably our most prolific, one of the most prolific speakers for us and recording and Monday Morning uh, presenters, and he just does an excellent job, as you already know. Here's who he is. He's been around a long, long time, almost as long as I. But he's the pipeline he presents. Of course, agency consulting's worked with like 700 agencies over the years, and groups, associations, speaking. He's a whirlwind. Just amazing what he and his staff have done. They're over in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, across from the Philadelphia area over there. But he's all around the country, as he has been for many years. But when he told me about this philosophic presentation here, I said that would just be ideal if we could talk about something more than just selling insurance. And if Al, you could present this in a way that agencies could use this as the base recording for their new employees. That's what I see it as right now. For the present employees too, but definitely for all new employees. And now I'll put this not only on our regular Monday morning list, but I'll also put it in the basics program, and that'll be used in people's years to come. So let's talk about it. Where do we start?
Well, George, thank you very much. Let me start, George, by asking you a question.
Uh-oh.
How good do you feel when you go shopping for a used car?
I hate it. I hate
You
it.
hate it.
Yeah, I don't
Why?
like it. Why?
Why?
Well, I don't want to go through all that. I don't want the guys that are beating on me when I walk into the place, and it's just not my bag, huh?
You,
Yeah,
you hate it
yeah,
because you know that the guy that you're facing is trying to sell you something
you bet.
that you may or may not want, but he's going to put pressure on you, and nobody in their right mind wants that.
Nope.
Unfortunately, we sometimes get bulked in with the same kind of people as used car salesmen,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a matter of trust.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So we started this process by talking about trust. People use insurance agents that they trust whenever possible. And unfortunately, most people don't trust other people who are trying to sell them something.
It's
The
true.
title of this seminar is how to get more customers by not selling insurance. And what we're going to talk about in the long run is this. It's the asset protection model of relationship selling that we developed, 15 or more years ago now. We named it 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been putting it into insurance agencies, and the title of this presentation is exactly what happens. We stop selling and we end up building relationships and getting more clients as the result. The key to this entire thing is to maximize your income as an agency. Stop selling insurance. First of all, the people know that they have to buy insurance. We have one of the few products, and this is why insurance agencies is still a wonderful business to be in and to get in for the future. This is a product that they have to have. Not only do they have to have it, but they have to have it every year. They may not like it, but they've got to have it. So, in order to maximize your client acquisition, these are new clients, there are a couple of rules that you have to do. Number one, see the prospects frequently. When was it ever written that you could drop one letter in the mail, or now emails or messages or social networking, and expect the person you're talking to flock to your door?
Are you talking about face-to-face here?
I'm talking about face-to-face.
All right.
The most successful agencies in the country know their customers. There are a lot of agencies and wholesalers and conglomerators who write thousands and thousands of customers, and they lose customers rapidly too because they really have no control. They're marketers. And I know, George, this isn't a dirty word because you're the best marketer I've ever seen.
Thank you.
But beyond the fact of marketing brings prospects to you. It doesn't make them like you or trust you or respect you.
Right. Okay.
So beyond seeing prospects frequently, what I want you to do is bring prospects added value at every visit. That means that we're no longer going to drop into somebody and see a prospect for a cup of coffee or a hi, how are you, and then we leave. Every one of us who owns an insurance agency knows what it's like when we get visits from our friendly insurance company marketing representative. How valuable are most of those visits?
I don't
Really,
think so. Not very.
not very valuable. So the first thing we do is we see our prospects frequently. The second thing we do is we actually add value to them at every visit. That means that we actually have to work for our visits. And then the third thing that we want to do is we don't want to sell anything. We actually have to change the minds of most of our prospects. When they meet us for the first time, they are suspicious of us. They think we're there to reach into their pockets. We're going to spend the first visit or two or three influencing them and showing them how different we are, that we're not there to sell anything. We're there to provide services. Now, we also have clients that we want to keep. It doesn't help to write a lot of new business and have an 80% retention rate. So in order to maximize client retention, we suggest, again, back from our experience with between 700 and 1,000 agents, the best agents see their clients frequently. They also bring added value, not just renewals. They're not there just to pick up renewal information and drop off a policy.
Al, what's an added value? I don't know. What are you talking about? What kind of added?
We'll describe the added values in a little bit, but these are products and services and things that the customer needs, not the things that we need. We're not there trying to sell them something, but what we're trying to do is make sure that their assets are properly protected.
Mm-hmm.
Get this is really important.
All right.
What we're there is not to sell them something. We're there to help them protect their assets to the degree that they realize that the things that we're talking to them about helps them protect themselves, keep their assets away from risk. We win. Otherwise, we don't. So when we talk about it, added value, we define it by the strength of our relationships. What we're trying to do with added value is provide services that our competitors can't, because many of them are direct writers and they never see the customer, ever. That's a real benefit to you and me as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Our independent agencies have an unbelievable benefit in the fact that they can visit their clients face-to-face. And some of our other competitors who could go visit their clients won't. That's also a benefit to us. And it's not, added value is not processing transactions or answering the phone, because that's already expected for most of our clients. That's not unusual. What we're trying to do is show them that we care more for the well-being of the client than for the sale of insurance. Believe it or not, if you do that, you will sell more insurance automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about concierge service. You and I, George, we described this a couple of days ago in a conversation we had. My doctor is becoming a concierge doctor. And what we do is, in the case of insurance, our competitors are desperately trying to commoditize insurance. It's all the same. You can buy it in a box. And what I'm suggesting is go with the flow. Let them commoditize insurance. That's wonderful. Because what we want to do is we want to be different. We want to offer personalized, relationship-based insurance to those people, both business people and individuals, who are smart enough to understand the difference between buying at the box shops and having something tailored to fit you. Not everybody is going to be our clients, but there will be plenty of people who will be. Question, George, what do prospects think when they meet you for the first time? Do they treat you?
Good question.
Yeah, do they treat you like they would treat a physician, a specialist, when they have physical problems that could save their lives? Or do they treat you when they meet you for the first time as a necessary evil?
Mm-hmm.
That it's a waste of money if they don't have a claim. We all have encountered clients who think that we're a piggy bank. They put money in and they're going to take money out. And when the companies realize that, they're terminated rather quickly. But in the meantime, we end up with a claim-conscious client. And if they do have a claim, do they believe that the insurance company will spend as little as possible to resolve it? And they bulk us, the independent agent who should be representing both them and the company, they bulk us as just a part of the problem, not a part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So does the customer believe that the guy represents him or the insurance company? Now, we all know if we're an independent agent, an agent of the company, by contract, we represent the company. However, the term independent agent in the United States has become changed. The definition has been changed. You're expected to act on behalf of your client as well. The customer is going to ask, how different is this guy from every other agent? Every agent, when they walk into his office, the first thing that customer hears is, we're different. But nobody shows them the differences. And what they think of most agents is, if he's willing to quote me, maybe I'll save a few bucks. I'm wasting my time, I'm using my time, but you know what? He's going to give me a free quote, the bane of my existence. So we need to change client attitudes. We need to change them from the agent compared to the tax man or that proverbial used car salesman, to the agent as a concierge, as an insurance counselor, as a risk manager. Risk management, that term, George, has been overused. The normal person on the street has no idea what a risk manager is.
Mm-hmm.
However, they know what a concierge is because they go to hotels.
Maybe we should use that, Al. Maybe we should start calling ourselves concierge agents. Let's you and I work on that, okay? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. So we developed a relationship selling model called the asset protection model. Mm-hmm. It is what it says. We actually believe and we train agents how to represent the customer, how to protect his asset instead of selling insurance. The end result are phenomenal closing rates, long-term customers, very high retention, because what we do in the process is we build relationships, we add value-added services that many agents don't give, because most agents are pretty much box lot salespeople. You buy a policy, they sell you a renewal, they hardly ever even market the product. And what we get is a reputation for delivering more than we cost the customer. I'm never afraid to tell the customer what I'm charging in terms of fees and commissions, and hopefully my customer boasts that he has a relationship with me that's worth a lot more than he pays me for. So when we build trust relationship, one of the things we have to remember is that relationship building takes time. It's not done quickly. This is a get-rich-slow scheme, and this is the downside of the asset protection model. This doesn't work like a silver bullet. You can't take the pill and feel better in the morning. For instance, if you saw a beautiful woman, someone you lost your heart to, would you propose on your first date? What do you think, George?
Probably not. I think
no.
I'd wait.
Would you propose at Burger King?
I think a better place than that. I can think of a lot of better places than that.
Or would you propose when you know what the answer will be in the right place?
Amen.
I've often seen, and we all have, the commercials and things on social media and the internet of somebody proposing to his girl in an arena or in a stadium with the camera pointed at him. Oh my God, what would happen if she said no?
I'm quite sure they got it all worked out before they got there, but you're right.
I sure as hell hope so. And if that's the case, shouldn't we be doing our services to our clients the same way? So what we do is we show our worth with value-added services. The first value-added services is not hard to do, although it takes diligence to do it. It's a rotating asset analysis. You are not insuring somebody's liability or physical assets. You're insuring a customer. That means that when you first meet him, what you need to do over whatever period of time it takes is figure out every single asset, certainly the ones that are insurable, but anything that is at risk that you can help him with. Then what you do is a rotating asset analysis in order to protect him properly over a period of time. It could take years. TCOR, it used to be a buzzword. I don't know if it is anymore, but it's real. It's the total cost of risk, and that is much different than the premium, because there are risks that are not premium based, but you need to make those customers aware of that and help them ameliorate risks as well. And what we do with the asset protection model is we provide our services before we make the sale, before we propose. Why? Because when we say we're different, we don't ask him to take our word for it and buy insurance from us. We prove it to him several times until he himself asks us to be his agent. And that's exactly what happens, by the way.
That's pretty tough to get a TCOR, the total cost of, before you go in and actually make the proposal, though, because you spend time and effort and everything else. It would be a...
That's exactly right. This is expensive. It's expensive mostly in our time. Okay. This is not something that can be done in 15 minutes or an hour. But you're not selling a customer a single policy either. You're protecting everything he has. So you will eventually have 5 or 10 different product sales out of this that renew every year.
Okay.
In a rotating asset analysis, you have to expose every client and prospect to analysis of every aspect of their assets, business and personal, for which you have analysis tools. And you need analysis tools for all common insurance exposures. If you don't write life insurance or health insurance, you need a relationship with someone who does, that you can use as your asset when it comes time to analyze the customers.
Good, I like that.
This is my TCOR picture, because as we know, the insurance premium is just the tip of the iceberg. And we have all sorts of things beneath that: deductibles or self-insurance costs, risk management costs for commercial lines, workers' comp analysis and reductions, EPL coverages, which still aren't as common as they should be. Cybercrime, something new, a new word that we found in the last 5 or 10 years, which is an immense asset risk that you need to do things for. Business interruption, all of these so far are actual insurable costs, things that we can identify. But there are other things that if we're a good insurance agent, we should be aware of that may not be insurable. Things like the cost, the expense of FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act. If they don't have a proper personnel manual, this could cost them tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And other federal acts compliance. And we don't need to be specialists in all of this. We need to know how to access the specialists in the industry. And there are folks out there, friends of ours and people who are smarter than I am, who have identified ways of helping people with federal acts compliance, so that once you get to 400 or 500 employees, you better be on the ball, because you're subject to serious fines. And the answer I normally get from agents is, all I know is product and price. How on earth can I do this? My answer to them is, it's time to change. You used to be, or your predecessors used to be, the ultimate insurance knowledge base. It's time to get back into it. We became lazy over the last generation or two because we learned how to do automatic quoting and rating, and we use the internet a lot, and basically we become a change machine. We become a quoting machine. We need to get away from that. There are companies that can provide you the knowledge that most agents will not have. Some of them cost money, others are pass-throughs where the client themselves pays for it and you don't have to. And you need to reach out and learn how to differentiate yourself from your competitors. We can help you with parts of that, but a lot of that has to come from the initiative of the agency owner.
Give me an example of the companies that provide you with the knowledge that most other agents would not have. What do you mean?
Well, there are different carriers. I don't want to use this as a medium of advertising anyone's services.
No, but I mean what?
But there are systems carriers that can provide workers' comp analysis for you. There are compliance companies that can go into a client, review their HR procedures, and make recommendations for changes that will keep them out of problems with the federal government fines.
Okay, got it.
And you can reach out and get those. We do that obviously for our own clients as we go through this process, but I'm not here to sell our services either. And finally, please, if you don't do anything else out of this seminar, stop practice quoting. Don't you know how to do it by now? Aren't you a little tired of you quoting and doing the best you can and leaning on your underwriters only for your wonderful prospect to take it and show it to his brother-in-law who's too lazy to do it themselves, who says, I can access that same carrier, I can access that same program manager, and takes the product right out from under you with you having done all the work? I doubt if there's one agent listening this who isn't nodding his head right now.
And then I too.
Yeah.
Right.
So the question that I get, and it's mostly self-defense, is they're saying, I'm afraid not to quote. I can't not quote when someone asks me to do a quote. Why shouldn't I get quote? Why shouldn't I quote? Well, first question is, how many of us actually get paid to quote? I'm using an hour of my time. Yeah, I'm using an hour of my time. I'm using my underwriter's time and my all my goodwill to the underwriters to do things when I'm only selling 1 out of every 10 or 1 out of every 20 quotes that we have done. And are you interested really in getting a customer for price alone? You want to be the guy who gets it for $500 less than he paid last year? What do you think is going to happen next year? Third reason not to quote. Maybe the incumbent carrier is the best one available. Now, especially if you have that incumbent carrier, he may get to understand why he should be using you as his insurance agent, but you're going to keep him with his incumbent carrier. And if you quote right out of the box, what chance will it be that the client will give his incumbent the last chance? Remember, he doesn't have a relationship with you if you're just quoting his insurance for the first time, and he does have a relationship with the guy he's been using for the last 10 years. So, in the asset protection model, we tell you to act like the prospect is your mother. How would you treat your mother if she came in to buy insurance from you? You would provide services and you would provide all the value you can, and you'd give her a cup of hot tea. So tell prospects that you're doing this to show them your value beyond their current agent's abilities. Don't decry their agent. Don't badmouth their agent. We see a lot of that in politics. It isn't a really good idea. Show respect to their current agent. Remember, that customer actually chose that agent. So if you denigrate that agent, you may be denigrating the customer too. So show them that your value, and how you do that is by coming in more often than his current agent and providing benefits every time you come in. Keep providing added benefits until one of two things happen. Either the prospect becomes your clients, de facto or in reality, or you realize that their values will never be yours and they will never become your client. And one of the things we do in reality, George, is we teach insurance agents how to get rid of bad prospects. Not every
Good.
prospect is a qualified prospect,
It's hard.
but yes, but every prospect uses your time. And the only thing we have of value in our agency is our time. So what we're trying to do is be valued in excess of our compensation. So what we do once they become our customers is we keep providing value-added services. That means we do asset checkups every single year, different assets in different years. We keep in communications with our clients often. We do not leave them at the renewal door. And we don't ask, we're never afraid to ask the clients, how are we doing? Something that most agents, by the way, are scared stiff to ask.
I see
They know
it
what the answer is.
very rarely do I see that. I do see it used, and boy, when I do, it's very effective. I've talked to a lot of agents who've changed their whole way of doing business because of these things, because of that.
Do you know what's better than an agent telling you, oh, you're great, you're doing wonderfully? What's better than that is an agent hesitating and saying, well, I don't know, things have been better. Because that client is actually valuing you and is taking a risk and giving you the opportunity to change your ways. So we teach, and we won't do it here because we simply don't have time, but we teach. It's called the guaranteed referral model. We teach agents how to ask their clients how we're doing in such a way that the result will be gaining an additional referral from half of your clients every single year.
Neat.
Every year, half your clients a referral.
Wow.
Now, George,
That's a big step.
You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
How much better do you close referrals than you do cold calls?
Oh, I think the number's twice as, but better, more than twice is, I don't know, it's a big number. Whatever it is.
It's a phenomenal difference. If you have a referral, the minimum closing rate 60%.
Yeah.
If you have a brand new person who's never heard of you before and you're giving them a quote, you may be at a 5% or a 10% closing ratio for those. Now, the good things in life, motherhood, apple pie, and relationship selling. Everybody talks about relationship selling. But in reality, some mothers aren't the saints like them to be. In reality, apple pie makes you fat. And if relationship selling is so good, why don't we all do it all the time?
Good question.
Well, the answer to that question is because we don't practice relationship selling because it's hard damn work. It's hard work to build a relationship. It's much easier to go to a George Nordhaus and say, George, can you please market me to 100,000 people in my area so that they call me and I give them a quote and I sell 1,000 of them or a couple of hundred of them insurance. That's easy. You'll never get a relationship that way, but you'll be busy. It's much easier to quote than it is to build relationships. And quoting makes you really busy. From the morning till night, you're busy. Are you productive? No, but you're busy. And there's always a risk. Sometimes you'll get a customer to buy something. So you're always continuing to work for that off chance that somebody will actually buy. And finally, we're afraid of customer rejection. We don't do relationship selling because you're less likely to be rejected if the target for you is saving them money, because everybody wants to save money, you and me included. So the best way to serve a client, in our opinion, is to fulfill needs, not quoting price. And if a client says, I just want a quote, remember, if you come to the request to get a quote, he has just proven that you're just another insurance agent, just like all the others, and you should expect to be treated like all the others. So you can't say you're different and then offer free quotes, because you've just described yourself as a used car salesmen. So how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? This is not the way. Whenever I ask an agency first time what's different between them and their competitors,
We
they
give great
always say,
service. We give great
we give
service.
we give great service. Now, I grew up in Ohio, and our definition of service is what a bull does to a cow. Thank you very much. I don't want to do that to my clients.
Oh, that's my old joke.
So,
I used that for years. I grew up in Indiana, so I guess we farm boys have to do that. Yep.
absolutely. And so my statement to them is really, how do you service differently from your competitors? Do you think they don't answer the phone when the phone call rings? Are their doors not open the same hours that yours are open?
Mm-hmm.
The real difference between you and your competitors should be consultative selling versus the traditional selling. Traditional selling is called the quote price model. Basically, you're hoping that you sell enough quotes that 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 buy insurance, and everyone can do the math to figure out how much we make. Consultative selling is different. Consultative selling is going back to the old days, the concierge type service, the old family doctor. He may not have had a lot of people, a lot of patients, but those patients used him for everything. So, the 3 ingredients of the asset protection model: number 1, don't sell insurance. Please stop selling insurance. Number 2, analyze every part of the asset base of your clients, whether you do it initially or you do it through your through over the years. And number 3, seek active referrals. There is no harm and there is no emotions or embarrassment to asking a client for a referral. They would love to give them to you if they like you. If they don't like you, you shouldn't ask for it in the first place, and you should know the difference. So what we suggest is get more customers by eliminating quoting. That's our mantra. And how we do it is we qualify our prospects. Don't be afraid to disqualify prospects. If they don't want to cooperate with you, get rid of them. There are a lot more prospects out there than there are insurance agents. It's just a matter of finding them. And frankly, if I can throw a plug in for you, hey guys, agents, if you don't know how to find prospects, will you give George a call? I mean, he's an this is what he's done for only about 1,000 years.
Thank you. I think.
Well, frankly, there's no secret here. Finding prospects is not a secret. You can find them. We can find them. George can find them. It's a matter of forming an unbreakable relationship.
Got it.
If you find somebody that has an unbreakable relationship with their current agent, kiss them on both cheeks and tell them to keep their agent, because they're in a wonderful situation. And if they don't care about protection, just price, and they won't let you in the door, and they won't show you anything, get the heck out of there. Don't waste your time.
Good. Love it.
So attitude here is everything. Desperation defeats diligence. It defeats professionalism. It defeats relationship. If you show your client, or if your producers show your prospects that they're desperate and they're desperately trying to do something, they're never going to get anything. Prospects sense desperation like a shark senses blood in the water.
So true.
And they run away from people who are desperately trying to sell anything. So, to qualify or disqualify your prospects, you have to remember, and you have to be convinced of this, your services are very valuable. You are giving them away. Does the prospect still deserve that service? If they're on the road to a relationship, the answer is yes, because eventually they'll use you as their insurance consultant, and they will have everything with you: their auto, their homeowners, their commercial lines, their life, their health, and they will refer their kids and their friends to you, and they become, in the prospect tree, they can be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you a year as the source of all of that. If not, If they don't deserve you, replace the prospect.
Mm.
Don't let unqualified prospects abuse your time. So the way our asset protection model is built, and I invite your customers and your readers and viewers to call us, is we build relationships. We use the consultative approach to selling, to asset protection. We get most clients coming to you on broker of record letters, and this is not a bad thing.
Mm.
Why do we do that? Because we eliminate expiration dates from our lexicon. What the heck difference does it make? Do you want to be visiting that prospect at the same time that 50 other agents are? Because 90 days ahead of renewal, that's when all the agents come out of the woodwork. We schedule value-added services to every client and every prospect with mini plans for every value-added service.
Mm.
This is hard work.
Mm.
And we're worth more than we charge consistently to that client. That's what the asset protection model is built as. Now, we can help you. We can send you information, but most of the time this is something that we will come into your agency and we will determine whether your agency is qualified.
Just go back to that last slide. Can you push back? Go back? That's all right. That's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose it there. But yeah, I hear you. There we go.
I am.
Okay.
What we're trying to do when we go visit agencies is we don't want to, I don't know why that's happening. I'm sorry.
Well, it happens. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
We don't want the agency to take on the asset protection model or any program if they're really not believers in those concepts. So the agents that are cultural fits with this, we would be happy to serve. Otherwise, there are many other ways to do marketing, to do planning, and to process agency business the way they want.
Well, you're so right, Al, and on every step of the way there, make sure that I'm going to make sure that people can see how to get hold of you here, because I think it's vital. There we go. And now they can see you, and I can't say too much about this. This is just, I mean, it's exactly what most of us need. It's you know, I guess I thought of you like maybe a preacher, a priest when I grew up, saying, here's what it is, the basics, and says, yeah, why didn't somebody say that before? And that's the way I feel about this. I think it's terrific. And one more time, I'm going to tell people, hope that I can influence you to go right on back with this and let everybody in your agency listen to it. Can't hurt anybody. Be very, very good for you. And then you got to bring them together and say, guys, listen, we're going to buy into this, and we're going to quit quoting, or we're going to, yeah, and that isn't easy. And another thing, I think what you should do, well, you got Al's address here, and you'll see it on the email and at other places. Go to them. Make sure you get the pipeline. The pipeline is the #1 agency management newsletter. It comes out every month in the country, I think, and I'm a little prejudiced. Al, thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime, George.
Okay, well, we're going to do some more. I feel another couple coming. So be talking to you later, and the rest of you, I'll see you again next Monday morning.